Welcome back to this week's edition of Carolina Kart Scene, episode number 30 for racing on September the 9th. I want to thank everybody for the views and the subscriptions they have. I've been looking at the analytics, and 17 to 18% of you that watch the videos are subscribed. So very thank you for all the ones that are subscribed to the channel. Helps me to see where the channel needs to go and where we can grow. And I want to encourage those of you that have not subscribed to please subscribe so we continue to have a lot of fun bringing out the information from this particular channel. This week we'll get into a couple of different racetrack news, a racetrack that was sold and bought and what the future holds for it. We'll also talk about a lot of different racing across South Carolina, North Carolina, a little bit of Virginia, so let's get to it. In racetrack news, new Beginning Speedway in Dobson, North Carolina has been sold and has been bought by two new individuals to be running the races. They'll be having a couple of different races for the rest of this year, and then also they mentioned they're going to have about 14 events next year with some bigger money races also on the plan. So hopefully, it looks like their schedule this year is still going to conflict with the other racetrack nearby, so hopefully that there's a lot of karters in this area of North Carolina can support both racetracks, and hopefully both of them will be successful as they go forward. So we'll be covering those races as they come forward, and want to wish all the luck to Stan and Chris Lawrence as they go forward. For updates, definitely check out their Facebook page to what they have in store. Running on Friday night, September the 8th, is going to be TriCounty Speedway. They'll be running the Champ Karts in addition to their larger cars on that night. They'll be running the Eagle Rock Concrete 160. I believe this is going to be the last time they'll run the Champ Karts this season. Definitely, they put on a great show throughout the season, so hopefully they'll be back next season, intermixed with their schedule. So gates will open up at 6 p.m., qualifying at 7:15. If you haven't made it out to this racetrack, great little racetrack right just south of Raleigh. So this, hopefully you can get out and watch them run. Also running in North Carolina on September the 9th is Cool Ridge Speedway in Ramshore, North Carolina. They'll be running one of their normal weekly nights, and they will actually be running a lot of different classes. Clone 350, 375, Champ Karts, Senior Champ, Teen Champ. Also a lot of different Predator classes they will have. In addition, they will also give away some Maxxis tires to the two biggest classes that run, and usually there's a lot of karts that come out to this track, so it's really a toss-up of which class will be the largest. They've seen a lot of Champ Karts sometimes, Predator classes sometimes, so it's definitely going to be interesting. But the tires will go to the next to last finisher on the track. So you see a lot of times with somebody pulling off early, so may not want to pull off and maybe actually run for this particular one. So it'll be interesting what is going to have more racing, for first or second, or for to get the tires. Again, a really nice track, really nice layout facility. So if you're in the area, definitely check them out, and hopefully you'll be able to race with them. Next up, also running on Friday night, September the 8th, is going to be Woodley Raceway Park in Woodley, North Carolina. They're just outside of Salisbury, North Carolina, off of I-85. They've got a lot of different classes running on Friday night, and they've had a really good turnout on several of the different nights of their classes. And they do things a little bit differently. On some of the classes, they'll actually run heat races, and other ones they'll do qualifying. And with this is great because a lot of times you'll see this in the junior classes, which gives them more seat time and more laps at the track. Always a great prepared racing surface, so if you've never gotten out there and checked them out, again, gates open up at 5 p.m. with practices start at 7 p.m. So definitely a track to go out and check out. And then on Sunday, Woodley Raceway Park will be running their Champions on Dirt Wing Kart Series race number 5. They'll be running their Cadet, Beginner Box Stock, Junior Wing, and they'll also be running the Traded Senior Champ class on this particular afternoon. Gates open up at 4, pre-registration, pre-take, all at 4:30, where practices start at 6. So definitely a great track. We've posted videos about them before, and so hopefully you'll be able to get out and run with them or go out and watch. Also running on September 9th is TriCounty Cartway in Kenly, North Carolina. They'll be running race number 4 of their Maxis series. This is a race that was rescheduled from earlier in the year. They got rained out. They've already posted a couple of different things on their Facebook page about parking. They have not mentioned about what time the gates open or practice will start. Normally it's very early in the day. They always put on a real organized show and get everybody in and out really quickly. So definitely check out their Facebook page for any updates on times later in the week. Racetrack we haven't talked about in a long time is Ti Speedway in Greer, South Carolina. They'll be running on September the 9th, and they'll be having the Nathan Nick Gregory Memorial Race, and this will be the 5th annual running of this race. They've got a lot of your traditional classes on the line, Clone 350, 375, Champ 425, also your junior classes and Pee-wee. This is guaranteed money on the line with some definitely no cart minimum, so definitely something to check out. Again, opening up at 9 a.m. with practice start at 11 a.m. in Greer, South Carolina. Help me out with a kids event this coming weekend is my red plate racer, Amira. So, Amira, what do you have to say?
This weekend, Sickle Cartway is having a back-to-school race, and the little ones are having a Power Wheel race, and there's going to be a bicycle race for the older ones.
So we hope they come out and have a good time with the races.
Yeah.
As Amira had mentioned, Sickle Hill Cartway in Manning, South Carolina is having their back-to-school race. This is actually a cancellation from a race earlier in the year. They got rained out, so it's good to see they get it back on the schedule. They got a lot of different updates they're going to have. They posted that they will post something later on Monday or later in the week, so definitely check out their Facebook page for any updates for Sickle Hill, and hopefully you get out and race with them. One racetrack I want to mention in Virginia is Capital City Speedway in Ashland, Virginia, which is just north of Richmond, Virginia. I wanted to mention them. They're having one of their last Virginia Dirt Kart Association race on September the 9th. They have posted on Bob's 4Cycle Forum, and they have a really good updated schedule on their Facebook page, so definitely check them out. But one reason I wanted to mention them is that they actually are canceling a show later in the month because Margarettsville is racing, and I'll have more details about that coming up. It is really good to see two tracks that are somewhat separated from each other, but are cooperating and trying to get a schedule in. And it's really nice to see that so that the racers can have an option of going different places, racing different places. So definitely wanted to give them a shout out, giving them a mention, even though I normally don't cover a Virginia race. But again, Capital City Speedway north of Richmond and Ashland. Check out their Facebook post, and it's on Bob's 4Cycle Forum for a couple of different updates that they do have.